think about the spiritual points that we want to reinforce and prepare for what's coming next. And today we have a very special what's coming next, because if you are aware, the Brahma Kumaris is an international organization worldwide. And so sometimes we focus in on what goes on in our center and the activities that we're involved with, but it's great when there's an opportunity for us to expand our horizons and become aware that it is a worldwide organization, and sometimes our family comes to visit us. And so today, Brother Nicolas Crettex is with us, originally Swiss, living in Paris, and he is going to share some of his talents and skills and inspirations that he has brought. By profession, he is a musician, and he is a producer of films and also an expert drone, those little flying drone operator. And so he's created some of the videos I hope you have seen. We've shown a few of them here, but we're going to expand some of that and share some more of that. And so he is someone who I met for the first time, I believe, in Madhuban. You get to meet a lot of people in Madhuban, and you should be nice to everybody there, because you never know when they're going to show up in your life in the future. And so we had a little conversation at a media meeting, talking about things happening in the world, very inspirational. And Nico was able to show some of his programs, activities, his videos. And so it was a special opportunity for us when he said he was coming to arrange something. And I know how hard it is these days for some of the Brahma Kumaris family to come to Harmony House. And I know how hard it is for some of the Brahma Kumaris to stay a little longer at Harmony House. And I definitely know how hard it is for Brahmas to come and go and come back. And so we thought we would have this program right after class. So I hope you are full spiritually. And obviously you don't have to say much, because you're going to talk less and you're going to talk sweetly. And you just had something to eat. So you are in a perfect place to be entertained and inspired and share your elevated vibrations. Did I guess that right? Am I assuming that you are ready to be a fabulous audience? And so we are sitting here, and this would be the best place to sit if you're coming in. This is the program. Come on in. And we are then going to invite Nico. Why don't you come up now? And he's just going to guide us through what he does, who he is, and some of the inspirations that he has that he's going to share with us. So welcome, Nico. You can clap, it's okay. Yeah, overhead. Okay, we'll do that. And so Brother Nico, he's got a keyboard, he's got a computer, we've got a screen, we have ears, he has fingers. It's going to be a blissful next hour or so. Thank you, Nico.
Good morning to everyone. Thanks for the lovely introduction, Eric. And yes, it's my first time in US. And I think it's a place, city and country I feel very inspired, because I have an old teacher who came 6 months for a workshop in New York, and he said this city is very uplifting, his creativity and skills of drumming. He's a drummer, international drummer and musician. But I will speak about my musical part a little bit afterwards. So yes, I come from Switzerland. I start music at the age of 10 years old. I discovered the organ, a very nice instrument. And after I switched to keyboard and piano in jazz school in my place. And so this hour together will be an alternance of speak, talk, sharings, and also music and video sharings. And first part, maybe I will explain my musical background and story, and see the bridge we can make with spirituality and music, because there is many bridge we can have. And the second part, maybe my discovery of spirituality and Raja Yoga meditation and how it uplifts my skills, especially music. And some parts, some question if you have, and personal sharings. So first of all, I just want to set the audience, because I think all the artists have in common in the creation is silence. And I have a friend in my hometown who is a painter, and she when she's painting, she like in a cave, and sometimes I come to her to say hello, and I felt I was disturbing her creativity. So I think many artists start to really express the best of themselves in silence when they are very alone in themselves. And it's in this kind of settings that inspiration can come. And I think in my life, especially in music or video making, if I feel inspired, sorry, I think things are very easy. Things are flowing. I can be very tired, put under my keyboard and create something nice, or I can spend 1-2 hours playing and nothing come out. So I just really learn to go to the flow and catch the right moment when the inspiration is there, and you have to really apply at this special moment, because the creativity is something with coming and going. So we can start with 1 minute of silence, and after I will extend this minute with some nice meditation song. And I think my biggest challenge in my spiritual practice is, for example, to reach a peace of mind within. My challenge is to reach a certain peace of mind, a certain level in my mind. But the ability to sustain and maintain this peace within, that is a real effort, I think, and a real challenge of all the people I met and practice meditation. So during the first minute, we can just sit and just be aware of your thoughts, be aware of your presence. And after, with 2 or 3 minutes extending with music, we can try to extend this awareness. It can be anything: peace, happiness, benevolence. Or we can even send some good vibration, to Marrakesh or these places where people are struggling or facing difficult situations. Thank you. So before to start with my musical journey, because it's something I've done, I started 38 years ago. For the last 6 years, I'm more involved in filming and drawing and so on. So I'll just present to you a clip of 1 minute, just made to present myself a little bit of on these activities that are quite new for me. So it's just an overview of many clips you will see as well after all, and also Madhuban headquarters that Eric mentioned at the end. And yeah, about my musical journey, I think it was for me more a reconnection with something I knew from the beginning, you know. It's because the soul is like a seed and it's just expressing what is inside. So we all become different kind of flowers, but the seed contain everything. And the first time I saw my sister when I was 10 or 11 years old playing piano, immediately I have this thought, I want to do music. Maybe I want to copy her, you know, like brothers and sisters. But it was more a feeling like a calling in myself. And I start with the organ that we'll call the queen of instrument, because you have to play not only with your two hands, but with your 2 feet as well. And a drummer is doing like that, but an organist is also have to deal with the melody. So it's interesting because in my childhood, my mother said every time before to go to school, I spend half an hour playing. And at the age of 20, I think I was playing 5-6 hours a day. And when the question arises, if I want to become professional, I really hesitated, but I say no, because I saw my teachers and most of the times I was doing something they don't really like, you know, performing music to eat and performing something like that. And I say, do I want music to be, I wanted music to be something that I enjoyed every time, not something I have to do to live. And I think it was a good choice because I really feel free to compose or to play whenever I want, but not like a job or an obligation. So it was, yeah, a very, very interesting period of my life. And afterward, when I discovered meditation, I realized that all I learned through music was useful as well, you know, because when you play, you have to concentrate, you have to be focused, you have to memorize many things. You have to practice, practice, and practice again, like in spirituality, it's all about practice. And in music field, we say you have 10% talent, but it's 90% of work if you want to attain such level of in the musical industry or so on. And so it was a good training, I think. So in meditation, if you not concentrate, you cannot attain anything. That's very the key, to be focused, to focus your mind. So I realized afterwards that this musical practice was also something helpful in my daily life as a yogis. And I remember my teacher. I have 3 main teachers, very very nice souls and nice musician. And one day I went to class with a T-shirt with a sentence of Nietzsche, and it said, "Without music, life will be an error." And okay, he say he write it, and he say, "No, I not agree. I think without life, music will be an error." And it's something that's very stunned my intellect, because I say, yes, he's right. And in my spiritual life, it's the same. If you don't bring life, if you don't bring energy, if you don't bring all you have, with a pure intention, you cannot really attain at another level of consciousness. And yeah, this teacher was very, not only he teach music, but he teaches also the heart to be humble, because he was a very nice and very well-known musician in my place, and he was always pushing the others in front. Once some journalist came to make an article, and he said, no, I take student, and they have to be shown, the people see my face too often in newspapers. So I learned that with him, and also with my organ teacher, who was a woman, and she was really like a second mother for me, because the 2 first years I was very shy boy and introverted. I think she scarcely hear my voice. During the two first year, I study organ with her, but I was very focused. I was a good student. I was playing, training, and she gave me a lot of support with also her presence and advice, and she's still a good friend of mine, and we have coffee sometimes and sharing, some life stories and anything. So it's very a good friend of mine. So I think I learned as well humility from her. And like I said before, in spirituality, I'm using what I've trained before in my drum music. And of course, like Eric said to me before to perform, you have to enjoy yourself. And I think sometimes we take things too seriously, but we forget that life is like a game, and we just are actors, and we have to play as best as we could. And if we don't, it's okay. So what? We just try again and make effort to be a better human being every day. So it's my experience, and also a very interesting point, because I wanted to start this event with silence. I think without silence, music will not have the same taste. Imagine, for example, orchestration or classical music, just the flow of notes with no silence, no pause between. It will not have the same flavor. Or something speaking to you and speaking and speaking and speaking continuously without any break, any silence. It will be a mess. It will be not interactive. It will be not communication. Will not be able to happen. So in meditation, I think silence is the key words. And for me, my main effort or concern, I think, is to reach a point where my thoughts stop to become thoughts, but my thoughts become an experience. If I think of peace, I end up thinking of peace, but I becoming peace. And that give a really, really big change. So you become what you are, you become the experience, you're lost in that, and you can reach some level of bliss or deep silence. So it's always, it's a question of what experience I want to have. And I was sharing this morning, something I'm very concerned of is also to check my intention before to meet someone, before to do something, some significant actions. What's my intention? If just for myself, for my sake, for my ego, or it's just to help the others or to bring something positive to the world. So it's also very things that's constantly relating to my inner world and how I deal with that. And of course, learning to play music is an art, but learning to play with others is something else. It's also an art. And through music, I think I learned to listen to others. So you play for yourself, but you are very aware of the drummer, of the bass, of the guitar. Otherwise, you're just playing for yourself, and the orchestra will never be tuned together. So it's something also to listen to others carefully and to catch the really needs. And also a sign of maturity, I think, for me, is to catch what the people is not saying to you. So you have to catch his primary intention. You have to catch his feelings. You get, it's 80% of the language is non-spoken. So a sense of maturity is to really discover what's behind the words that people want to share to you. And of course, it was very challenging to choose something because I didn't mention, but I will mention in the second part how my creation come out. But I want to share the best track of my favorite one, composed in 2008 or 10, something like that, with another instrument. It was my main instrument, and very heavy to carry with here. So I just carried these two little things. I don't know if you see it. It's illuminating. It's very sensitive as well. You can touch the sound, and depending of the deepness, you have different effects. So very nice to carry with me. So this song is tribute to India. It's dedicated to India. The country is very, very, very to my heart. It's my heart country, I can say. And I just mix. It's not my footage. All the footage you will see in this event is mine, taken by drone or camera. But this one, I just mix some nice footage I found on the web, and the music is mine. And I will just improvise some bass on top of it. Thank you.
We may have come from many different countries and cultures. Within our hearts, I think we hold the same vision of a better world, of greater security, peace, justice, understanding, and respect for all people.
So yeah, I don't remember exactly when I composed this track, but maybe 2008, 10. And there is a little story about that because when I started to practice meditation, I think for 5 years I really focused on how to discover, what this new way of life, this new practice was giving to me. And I think I didn't have any keyboard at that time. It's very rare. I think, I have one, but I was not playing so much. And after 5 years, I get the inspiration, to buy another one and to start music again. And I have the proof that really my practice of meditation give me a very, very bunch of inspiration, because in 2-3 years, I composed mainly all the music I have now, and I'm sharing and using for video clips, for example. And after that, I play mostly with other people, or I travel with my keyboard for retreats, seminars, these kind of things, but not so much composing. So I think nowadays I have as well the same feeling of composing more of things. The thing is, I was more doing editing videos for the last 5-6 years. I don't know, 500, 600, I didn't count, but not possible to get music for each of these projects. So I'm more using music, professional music on the web. So I have all the music available and fitting nicely to the video I want to edit. And to learn music, it was very helpful, because I feel what sound is needed to match different video, different footage. So it's another art, filming and editing. I think I like to play with images and videos and to create to give an inspiration or to give an experience, spiritual experience or lovely experience to hearts. And it was very, very interesting for me. So, and also to Raja Yoga, because it was the second chapter of my life, very important chapter, I think the most important of all. Like in music, I learn how to tune my frequency to a higher level of energy, to a supreme energy, to the source, to God. And it very helped me to rediscover myself in very different ways, to discover my true self, to build my self-esteem, this real self-esteem of myself. And because I think this source of energy is a perfect knot, and I just have to tune my mind to this energy that's always available. And in everything I do, if I incorporate this energy, if I'm good tuned with myself, I tune with the source, I think the outcome of what I'm doing is beyond expectations. And it's where magic happens, because it's not only you creation, but it's a co-creation with God. And it can be to many arts, to speaking, to anything you do, cooking, traveling. If you're a good company, I think the world is just manifesting by itself. And for 5 years, when I left my last job in Geneva, I think I have this experience. I don't do any effort to create my program or my life, I can say. But I think it's more coming from inside. And I remember was Daddy Junkie, the last chief of Moroccan race who passed away a few years ago. She say, when you prepare yourself internally, the others will prepare your way. And I realized since 5 years that she's absolutely right. Because if you on the right tune, if you do the right things, if you have the right behaviors, the right attitude, the world has to respond to that on the same level. Of course, you can have challenges, you can have some difficulties, but you always have the strength to overcome that. And so it's interesting to be the watcher, to be the observer of my own life. And I didn't plan so many things to come here in US or Canada afterwards. It's just you meet the right people for the right project, and after it leads you to another things. So I don't build my life really much. I just observe, I go with the flow and see the opportunities, and I just choose what I want or what seems to be efficient. Because I like to help wherever I go, to feel useful and to use my skills. I don't know if it's my skills, because I think we all have a destiny, to become something we already are. We just have to rediscover it. And I think, like human being, we are like a musician. And the only thing we have to do is to play well. And if you play well, if each of one of us, each member of humanity play of his best, it can be a good symphony. We can be in tune together, and we can really create miracles and create a better world. And if I'm not tuned with myself, if I play false notes, or the results, global result, it will influence the others as well, and it will be cacophony or it will be a mess. So it's important to be center of myself. And I think one nice experience I had in 2015, I was turning 40, and my brother just turned 42 years before, in 2013. And I asked myself, I'd like to do something, not celebrate my birthday like my brother did. He invite friends, family, even a little orchestra, the drinks, the eat, and share things. I said to myself, I cannot do that. I want people to take benefit from that. So 1 year before, I was in India, sitting in an Ayurvedic center in Pune with my keyboard and computer, and I started to build a website to create a one-day peace festival. It was in 2014. So it took me at least 1 year to make that a reality, and it was very pushing myself, because I planned A to Z, building a website, invite the artists, set all the things, and play also myself with some friends. And at the end, it was beyond my expectation, because I created that festival with the wish for people to take spiritual benefit. So we invite also different groups of meditation. It was nice. I think it was a very learning process for me. And maybe my ego wanted to prove to myself that I can do so and so and so and so. And I even become very tired at the end. So I received very much help from from other yogis in my place 2-3 days ago, so to make the day of the festival possible like that. So it was very good experience for me to create that. And about my spiritual level, or spiritual realization, I want just to share two sentences of some people. It's not because he's Swiss, but Federer said one day it takes time and energy to reach a good stage. He was speaking in his sport, but you can apply in any other level. But it requires the same amount of energy to stabilize yourself in this stage. So in my spiritual journey is also one more challenge to reach a certain state of peace, of knowledge, of wisdom in a meditation or in daily life, and to maintain that. It requires the same effort or even more effort. And because nothing is granted, you have to rediscover yourself every day. You have to build your personality every day. So it's very enjoyable things to do, to work on yourself. And I think they have some questions they asked amongst 80 personalities 15 years ago, what's the one we prefer? And Federer came as second place, just after Nelson Mandela. And I thought to myself, how a sportsman can create so much impact in the world, And it's nothing to do with tennis, because he was a genius in tennis, of course. But it was his way of life, his humility, his easiness, his smile, his concentration, focus power is why people like him so much. And I think as a yogi, if I can really be a same example, for people, and to express my highest qualities, to help them if I can, I think it will be, the world could be a much different place, if you focus on yourself and you express like a flower, is spreading its fragrance and giving to others what they want. And another sentence, in a retreat, someone just take this idea and also strikes my intellect very much. It's from Einstein, and he said everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. And he said, this is not philosophy, this is physics. And this was Albert Einstein who say that, and I really agree of that. Everything starts in your mind. If you focus your mind, if you tune your mind, if you tune your goal, your aim according to your skills, the world can just bring what you want or what you need or what is beneficial for you. So everything starting for the self, everything coming for the self or to the self back. It's this law of karma, this law of energy was to flow. And it's like maybe probably like music, because it's a different way of experiencing and expressing yourself. And like I said, when I was a child, I was very shy, very introverted. I didn't understand how much this world was going on, And music was a good way to express myself on a different level, because I cannot express by words the feeling I had deep inside, but I can express through music. And now, if you have any question, please, you can take some time at the end. But yeah, amongst some footage, I've just selected a few of them. And it's a medley of some drone video, mostly of Switzerland, because maybe some of you don't know this country. And I just will play upon it. Thank you. So it was a nice cooperation with Carlos Labandera, very good friend of mine who's coming from Mexico, living in Italy, and he's also a musician. I think is his profession. Sitar player, guitar player, singer, composer, and we have a nice connection together. So when I invite him to Switzerland, we wanted to do something together and film it. So we just take the car and say, okay, let's see what place can be suitable, and we chose the waterfalls. So it was challenging for me because with the wind, with the water, the drone don't like the water so much. That's not a good thing for him, but it was okay. And he was just sitting on a rock, and also some water came in. But it was okay. It was a nice cooperation together. And after we chose two other places, so it's he used to do some festival during the summer time and something like that. So maybe one day we will do and meet together for more cooperation. So it was a nice opportunity. And also in my drone activity and filming, I also have some cooperation with artists in my place. So it was very interesting. Like these two artists, you just saw one was painting and the other was dancing. And I invited them for the festival organized in 2015 because it was for me very touching to see two different artists and very created something together. It's not just one dancing and one painting, because you see the interaction between them. Even when she was painting, she was closing her eyes, and we see the connection and interaction. It's really a dialogue, between two souls expressing the heart. And it was a nice location where we went, and nice experience as well. And also with this Sufi dancer we saw on the snow. It's someone who's very spiritual as well, and she explained to me once the signification of the dress she's wearing. And she said when we start to be centered, and after we open our arms and we start to turn, and the dress, is just going like a shape. It's like the soul is extending herself, showing his beauty, expressing herself, and at the end she crosses the hands again to restart to go within. So there is some very spiritual signification in the Sufi dance. So I filmed her in this occasion and a few others. It was a very nice experience. And yes, I have another also clips to show you. And I think it's maybe the more intense experience I have, because I can just to finish share my experience when I was in the headquarters of Brahma Commerce in Madhuban, and someone showed me some drone footage I have done of the place, and immediately I have the thoughts, I want to show these centers to the world. I want to film these centers and show the beauty, show the essence of spirituality that we can feel in this place. And I think it was very an inspiration to do that, because I don't think I've done anything, It was very really like it was already there. And when I fly for the first time, it was something like you do, some bicycle. A few years after, you still do, or when you're skiing in the mountains, something you never forget. And it was something very familiar, very entertaining as well. So the next clip, I want to do playing so I can have a break. I collect 15, I think there is more, but I collect 15 Raja Yoga centers, mainly retreat centers. So I don't know if you know a few of them. Starting from Europe with London, Worthing, Wembley, of course Oxford, in Germany, as well in France. And after I went to Australia a few years ago, so we have 4 centers of Australia. And as mentioned, Brother Eric, in the introduction, I finished with India, with Madhuban, and 3 main places. And so in this place, especially in India, I felt I was not alone filming, I felt God's presence, God's energy, God's sense. and it was very uplifting for me. Very nice experience to fly in this place. And sometimes you take risk, even if the drone is marvels of technology, it's Chinese technology, and it can come back by itself. It can avoid obstacles with the version I have now. But you always have to take care, there's always some cable or trees in the air or something like, or birds. But I was not afraid of that. It was very easy, very smoothly, and so I edit these things, and I just collect 20-25 seconds for each sentence. But for all these clips, you have a main clip of 1 or 2 minutes you can find on YouTube. And yeah, it's just to present yourself a glimpse of the Brahma Commerce Center around the world. Thank you. So I think we come to an end. I'm sorry for my Swiss accent, but I learned German after French and English on the way. And yeah, if you have any questions on Zoom or
First,
anything.
thank you, Brother Nico, for coming and sharing both your music and your videos and your vision and yourself. So everyone, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And a special treat for us, and the Swiss, French, German accent is very loving and sweet.
Okay,
So
okay.
we could all understand. But just as he said, any questions or comments about what was here? Is that a scratch the head or a raise the hand? Both. Okay.
Within the creative process, my feeling is that generally creatively, 90% of it, if not more, is getting to the right place, mentally, physically, and spiritually. What do you do to get to that place where you feel like you can let go of yourself creatively? Is there something that helps you?
I think there is no secret. I think when I start to be involved in meditation, it changes literally everything in myself, my vision of myself, my vision of the world of others, my vision of my will capacity. And like I said, I just work on the inspiration. And it's like a current of energy was coming, an idea. When you have some thoughts and you don't feel it's coming from yourself, it's just an inspiration. And if you take it and do something with it, you have the creating power in your hands. And yeah, it's not something, it's not like a button I press and I create something. It's not working like that. So I really observe myself, and if I feel it's the right moment to do something, some edit I have to do, sometimes it's 1, 2, 3 hours is made. Otherwise, if I do another time or I do it later, when the inspiration is gone, it take 1 day, 2 days. It's really to catch the instant moment, to catch instant inspiration. And I don't think it's coming only from myself. I feel I'm guiding to do that kind of things. For this drone activity, I don't think it's just myself. It's just not flying in the air and capture beautiful images. We need to bring an experience to people and to show the highest spiritual place that you can find on earth. It was my purpose.
Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions, inspirations, dance? Over there.
Thank you, Brother Nico, for a very inspiring, beautiful experience for us. I have my own questions about the spiritual places. When I go to Peace Village, I always look at this wall with all the retreat centers. I don't know if you've been to Peace Village. In the kitchen, in the dining area, they have this map of the world with all the different retreat centers.
Yes.
And thank you for exposing us to the other retreat centers. I've never seen those beautiful places, especially in Germany. So I'm happy because that's in my bucket list. I said, when I retire, I'm gonna check out all these retreat centers. And I'm originally from the Philippines, and you should visit the retreat center in Tagaytay. That's easy. So my question is, I heard different instruments. So I was wondering did you play all those instruments in the background?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Except with the painter and the dancer, because someone has created a special music for that, so I respect that. Otherwise, it's not possible to reproduce live because you have many layers of instruments, sitar, keyboards, piano. So I compose and I put the layers, and in live I just play bass or any other instrument upon it.
And the last question is, inspiration. Did you going to these beautiful places, did that play a major role for the inspiration, or you were inspired anywhere and everywhere?
I think
inspired?
retreat places, it's special place because you have yogi living 24 hours in the place, meditating every day, and it's create a very, very amount of power. And when you enter this place, you feel influenced by that. Of course, your creativity can be boosted. And yeah, I think about. I just came back from Philippines and and Malaysia, and wow, Philippines Tagaytay Retreat Center near near Manila. It's one of the cutest and loving place I went, except India, because it's an architect who designs the place inside and outside, and you really feel at home. You really feel that every object have been placed in the right place with some intention behind. And of course, it helps people to come and to be uplifted. And it's just a boosting that you get to get more exploring yourself. So you can take benefit or not, it depends on yourself, how you set your mind. And I always, from the really start when I was in Geneva, I was working full job, and every morning I go to the center, I say, do I want to come to this place to take, or do I want to go to this place to give my energy, to give my time, to give the quality of my thoughts. And I think I set myself from this beginning to give something, because I know if I went to this spiritual place, to God's place, I will receive something automatically. You receive automatically. But after more you give of yourself, the more you receive. It's a law, you know. So it's, I think the way of life is to give. It's just see nature. It's a perfect example. Whoever come in front of fruit trees, the nature give to him. It can be a murderer, it can be a saint, no matter. It's just give and give.
Thank you so much.
If everybody is content with what they've heard and what they've seen, there was one more request, and that was to conclude with a moment of silence. Is that okay if we do
can
that?
have 1-2 minutes. I think we have enough music to conclude with some silence. Could be nice. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so this is going to be original composition of silence by Brother Nico. Shanti, thank you very much. Thank you, Brother Nico, for sharing. Thank you all for coming. And we may have the possibility in a few weeks to see you on your way after your US and Canada trip. So have a great trip. Thanks much. Thank you, everyone. We are